News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. President Trump is back at the White House following his 3-day trip to China to meet with President Xi Jinping. He told reporters aboard Air Force One that they talked a lot about Taiwan.
I think the last thing we need right now is a war. That's 9,500 miles away.
The Trump administration's already approved a major sale of U.S. arms to Taiwan, but the president says he hasn't decided yet whether that can move forward. It's also unclear where tariffs will land, even though China says it's agreed to lower levies on certain products, including agriculture. Trump announced on Truth Social that China's buying soybeans and 200 Boeing planes. The order's the biggest single sale of Boeing aircraft to China in more than a decade. A group of American tech titans also traveled with Trump to China, including Apple's Tim Cook and Tesla's Elon Musk. But Bloomberg Tech co-host Caroline Hyde says NVIDIA's Jensen Huang may have made the biggest splash.
There was then an extraordinary move in Chinese shares, AI-related stocks, hoping that they would get access to the crucial H200 chips coming from NVIDIA. For now, the clarity is that came up, but China doesn't want them. They've got clearance from the U.S. to be able to sell to China, but China thus far wants to focus on its own supply chain.
That's Bloomberg's Caroline Hyde. Trump has suggested tariffs didn't come up in his meetings with Xi, but he did tout new trade deals, with China agreeing to buy soybeans and Boeing planes. Israel says it's killed one of the architects of the October 7th attacks that triggered its war in Gaza. Israel's army says Izz-al-Din al-Haddad was killed in a strike in Gaza City yesterday. He was one of the last senior commanders in Hamas's military who directed the gruesome attacks 3 years ago. His killing comes despite a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. About 300,000 commuters may have to find a new way to work on Monday now that the Long Island Railroad suspended service. Union workers went on strike at midnight after failing to reach a deal with MTA for higher pay. Jano Liebers, head of the MTA.
It's up to them how long the strike goes on, really. It's their decision. We're not locking them out. They're deciding to go on strike.
MTA says pay raises would force them to raise fares. It's the first strike, by the way, in more than 30 years. A 2-day suspension shut down service back in 1994. U.S. oil refiners are ramping up fuel production to help fill supply gaps as the war in Iran continues. Bloomberg's Charlie Pellet.
Analysts say the brisk pace is expected to push many refineries to their effective maximum capacity for at least the rest of this year. Gasoline output touched a 9-month high in recent weeks, and jet fuel production is at levels not seen since the summer of 2024. In New York, Charlie Pellet, Bloomberg Radio.
Elon Musk says he's not selling any SpaceX shares ahead of the company's long-awaited IPO, despite executing a 5-for-1 stock split that'll reduce the price investors pay for each share offered. The company could file publicly as soon as Wednesday and kick off formal marketing for its stock sale June 4th. Federal prosecutors have launched a probe into valuation practices at BlackRock's private credit fund. Bloomberg's Business Week Daily co-host Carol Masser has more.
The Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office has been seeking information about BlackRock TCP Capital Corp. and has brought in executives for questioning as part of the probe. The probe following a rare off-cycle disclosure by TCPC in January that it expected to slash the value of its assets, which sent shares of the fund plunging and led to class action lawsuits being filed on behalf of investors.
That's Bloomberg's Carol Masser. Jay Clayton, who runs the Southern District of New York, has been voicing concerns about this for months. Snap and YouTube have reached agreements to settle a lawsuit from a Kentucky school district. The district claims that addiction to social media platforms disrupted learning and pushed public schools to spend a massive amount of money fighting a mental health crisis. That case was set to go to trial on June 12th in federal court in Oakland, California. Maverick McNeely and Alex Smalley are tied atop the leaderboard as the PGA Championship continues today in Pennsylvania. Both are at 4 under par. And later tonight, the Preakness Stakes get underway at a new location, Laurel Park in Laurel, Maryland. Kentucky Derby winner Golden Tempo will not be running that race due to the short rest time between the Derby and the second leg of the Triple Crown. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.